Alright. We've got ourselves a big ZvP here, continuing the Korean versus the world match, and having his expansion blocked in the bottom left is Dark, representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming and Korea. And in the top right side, representing Storm, it's MaxPax. Now, MaxPax is actually doing great. This man has already won multiple series to get them here. And this is actually, right now, the world is up 3-2. Dark has kind of got a lot of work cut out for him, and I'm surprised they're putting him in instead of... I think they've still got Beyond in the wings, and should be 5 players each, so there should be one other player. I'm not sure. I've forgotten, sorry, exactly. Probably Hero. I think avoiding the Hero versus MaxPax PvP is a good idea, because that's always a scary match. And we've got Clem and Oliveira waiting for the international team, right? So definitely... Actually, wait. Oh, Dark already is the 4th player, isn't it? Because they're already on 3. So there's only 1 player left, actually. So it's only Hero or Beyond, whichever one is playing in this. I'll check the lineup after this game to let you guys know. But it is King of the Hill. It is best of 9. So first to 5 wins out of the teams. And each individual match between 2 players is a best of 5 to get 1 point, right? It's a little complicated, but essentially 3-2 is the overall scoreline. And we're going to be starting this best of 5 from scratch at 0-0, as you would expect. This is Solaris. It's a pretty good map. You've got some slow zones, or speedy zones, sorry, around these pillars, all around the map. So you move very quickly around those. Remember, disruptors are affected by those. Banelings are. Very good areas to ambush a ranged army with some very close ranged or melee units. Stargate's on the way as well. Depth's coming forward. Good intercept on these Zerglings. Gets rid of one of them. Second one should be blocked as well. Ooh, but 2 Lings sneaking in. Dark, always the Chaos Master. Always looking to catch his opponents off guard. Notice that Adept's already rallied there. Is he quick enough on his probe micro? The answer appears to be yes, but look at that. He's going to split control it. 1 Zergling in each base. Meanwhile, did the other Adept die, guys? Or did he recall it? Looks like he recalled it. Or he actually shaded home. Oh, I didn't realize he actually followed those Lings with the shades. Good defense, but... On the other hand, Dark gets away with just being greedy at home. And oh, he's supply blocked on 36. Oh, his lava injects have popped and he's supply blocked on 36. I was saying just before the series started, who are we excited for, MaxPax or Dark? And I said MaxPax seems to me like the much better straight up standard player. He's on another realm of existence, but Dark's very good at tricking him. And the other thing we've got to take into account is if Dark doesn't get supply blocked, remember he had that month after playing the GSL finals where he didn't get supply blocked, he looked unstoppable, beat Maru in a tournament, he was beating everybody he played, and he's already back to getting supply blocked at the start of this game at 36 pretty badly, so that does dampen my expectations of the Zerg player Dark here. And this is a good Oracle. Oh, good micro on those Adepts. Yeah, 10 Zerglings for 1 Adept so far this game. That's a good start for MaxPax. 3rd base goes up, he's probing pretty well. The Oracle hunting down 1 more Zergling, and it's going to get itself a lava before turning off that laser beam. Roach Warren starts up quite early for Dark. That tells me he wants to be aggressive, and usually when Dark has a bad start, he all-ins. And he's building lots of queens. The question is, can you queen walk on this map? I think he's going to spread the creep there, and he's going to push through the speedy zones straight up towards the natural of the 3rd. Looks to me like a 3-gas, just Roach Queen all-in, guys. Yeah, 3 more Overlords building. He's waiting for the Roach Warren to finish. Now, this is pretty obvious if MaxPax pays attention. He sees a lot of lava waiting on both bases. No drones on the 3rd at 4 minutes 40. Alarm bells should be ringing. Dark is so random with his build orders. Sometimes people don't even realize that. They go, oh, maybe he's just doing a weird build. And it's like, no. You've got to respect his queen walk. He's going to go all in a moment. MaxPax needs to realize what's up. He's making more gateways. He's making a battery at his 3rd. Those queens moving dangerously far forward, and you can see there, he's like, yeah, this looks super suspicious. Those queens are coming for me. So we want to see extra batteries, extra stalkers warping in, and basically stop probing and do nothing but make army. He's going to make a Void Ray as well. And you know what? A Void Ray and 3 Oracles will beat the crap out of these queens most likely, because they can't transfuse off creep. Lings are coming forward. The 2 stalkers, the 2 Adepts will easily defend that. 3 Ravagers already morphing. 8 more Roaches behind it. Dark is as all in as they get. I feel like MaxPax has had plenty of warning. He's still probing right now, which does not make sense. He should be building batteries, pylons, and warping in units and nothing else. Probing seems like it should only be something that happens with extra money. But oh man, his Stalker comes out of his wall. That's a mistake, losing a Stalker for free. He's gonna have to be careful here as MaxPax. One Oracle turns on the laser to hold back those Zerglings. Void Ray's coming a bit too far forward. Oh god, his units are getting surrounded at the third. Biles take out that battery. Okay, good pullback there though by MaxPax, but is he gonna try and overwhelm the Queens or not? The Void Ray's taking a lot of damage. Oh dude, this is looking like a stellar attack right now. If you lose these pylons, those gateways could get depowered. That's an important part of MaxPax production, but he's got a lot of Stalkers and Adepts on the top left. Those units look like the easiest side to defend. I think the Natural was actually where he was most vulnerable, but Dark is trying to move in here. He didn't want to try and breach that tiny choke point. Battery gets depowered before the overcharge can even get activated. Uh-oh. Stalker's getting surrounded. Nice Biles spreading across the front line. More units coming in from the right as well. There are still 4 gateways up, and these Stalkers can do pretty well. Those Ravagers have great hit points, and not to mention their armor is massive as well. Stalkers getting surrounded on the right side by the Zerglings, but they pull back, and with the power of the batteries, they should be able to hold on. Losing your third base is not the end of the world here. He's going to pull back. He will lose those 2 pylons, though, so he does need to build more pylons. If he can kill all the Ravagers and Queens, I think it's actually really good for MaxPax. But if those units all get home, that's where he's in trouble. These Queens are going home. Now, did Dark build new Queens? He did, but he's not injecting with them right now. Dark is still not droning. He's just started. This has always been one of Dark's biggest weaknesses with this build, is that he commits so very hard. And look at that, Oracle's coming in and killing 5 workers. So his already not great transition just got worse. The Oracles are going to come in, but they are running out of energy, and that is an issue there for him. Does take out the Queen and a couple more drones though. Massive counter damage. Cybercore did go down. So that has to be rebuilt behind the wall. MaxPax needs to get it back out there to take a third base. And Blink is only now finishing. So this is the point where he finally feels like he can retake that third. Yeah, Dark is always so slow to start injecting and droning behind these bushes that losing the third base, losing 10 probes, I don't know if that really puts MaxPax far behind because he was mining more that whole time. And now he's got 4 Oracles on the map. Yeah, Queens can defend. There's always chances to find any undefended mineral line and get in there and do some big damage. No 4th hatchery on the way. The worker count's very even. Dark's trying to drone back up. Charges on the way right now for MaxPax. Looks like he wants to play a Stalker Zealot style. His Stalkers probably could have counterattacked earlier, but there is 30 Zerglings out, so even though the Ravager Roach count's not that high, the Zerglings can swarm. Probe's trying to build behind this as well as more Stalkers warping in at home. Gonna start to clear the creep at least. It's a very good move. More Roaches and Ravagers being made, so Dark is not taking that big economic advantage. He's also building a Hydra Den right now, which tells me that Dark's game plan is a very simple one. He's going to be playing Roach Hydra, unlikely to take a quick hive, very likely to do a just big Roach Hydra all in, and look to swarm with the numbers advantage. That can work, it definitely can. However, right now, MaxPax seems to be stabilizing quite well. Robo's on the way. He's only got 4 gateways, that's definitely an issue. He's going to go second Forge. MaxPax loves double Forge. Now, I've always said double Forge. MaxPax is one of the few players who actually makes this build not look terrible in my mind. Good blink back. That being said, if you're playing Dark, Dark is not good at late game. He almost always tries to win in the mid game. And I think going for a second Forge and upgrades on it is one of the lowest value investments you can get. Against a player who's consistently going to try and all in you, it's definitely not the best play against him. Getting Disruptors earlier shuts down this style. Getting Storm, very helpful. Getting a +1 armor upgrade, kind of negligible importance against this particular style. Don't get me wrong, the longer the game goes, it will stack up value though. The Stalkers are finding a little bit of value, denying the creep. There's a 4th base going up behind this. Remember that as a Protoss player on this map, your bases are very spread out. For Zerg, it's not as big an issue as the game goes on, but right now, MaxPax is taking a 4th base before Dark is. He's microing really well, but you can't be throwing any Stalkers away. Remember, Dark is planning a giant all-in. So if he gets any value on the defense, all this does is strengthen his all-in. Because 1 or 2 minutes from now, he's going to be hitting you with a giant Roach Hydra attack. He's trying to hide those Hydras. He might even just send them all across the map right now. +2 attack, +1 armors on the way. More gateways coming in. MaxPax trying to pin him back with the Stalkers. But I think Dark just committing to a giant surround here with the Hydras might work out. The stasis trap on the flank could be useful. Few Zealots warping in to guard his flank. There's still a lot of Oracles here, but the Hydras are going to shut those down. The Oracles would have been great versus Ravager Baneling. Nice stasis on some of those Roaches and Ravagers. The Stalkers need to run, though. That is a lot of Hydras chasing him down. He's got to get out of here. MaxPax does take down a Zergling. Damages a Ravager. Not getting any big kills just yet, though. Can off another Roach or two. Losing Stalkers occasionally, but he does take out a couple of these Ravagers. Biles somehow land on either side of that stasis without setting it off. Okay. This is a really close game now. This is actually a very close game. Dark's kind of all in. He's got to make something happen right now. No Hive, nothing else. His +2's almost ready. The Queens defend the Warp Prism. The Zealots are going around that side. There's no splash damage. There's no disruptors. This is what I was talking about. This is the window you have to worry about. That +1 armor upgrade is going to kick in, but I don't see that changing this position very much. Probes are suffering on that third base. He does try to mineral walk, but already 10 workers go down. Zealots come in, start to do damage. Remember, Dark's economy is not that great either. If you can get out some disruptors as MaxPax, if you can micro these Stalkers just right, there's always a chance here to hang on. But he's got to put his focus into this micro. Zealots starting to clean up the Queens on the other side. More Zealots are warping in there as well. Stalkers start to chase after these Roaches and Hydras, but that was not worth it. He loses 3 or 4 Stalkers for just a couple of Roaches and Hydras. Zealots coming in on the front. Dark's economy is bad. It's going to worse. But he does not care right now unless there's a counter to his army. The first Disruptor's about to hit the field. He needs to start up a second and a third one immediately. Nice split on the army for Dark. He's going to lure the army to the south and then start pushing up the natural. There is a Disruptor nearby, but those Stalkers getting surrounded. Stasis traps are trying to buy time. The Hydras, meaning the Oracles, can't use their laser beams to be that effective. Stalkers starting to pick units off. Disruptors in the open. Only gets a single Hydralisk on that Disruptor, and it goes down. Great spread on the units for Dark. Single Zealot may kill Dark's 4th base, but it doesn't matter. He's wearing down the Stalker count right now. Taking that Disruptor out was massive. The way Dark came in from 2 sides was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful Roach Hydra surrounds, and that was absolutely stunning. Great way to trade, and it looks like he should be able to break MaxPax here. MaxPax fighting hard, but when the Stalkers get stuck behind the base like this, you can see most of them can't fight at once, whereas there's a nice arc for Dark. That being said, flanking Disruptor actually lands a pretty juicy shot, getting 5 kills, but it gets sniped in return. Zealot's doing damage on the counter. If he can hang on, maybe MaxPax can do this? The supply is dangerously close right now. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Stalkers trying to do what they can. I think chat's arguing about my wording. If I said Dark doesn't know how to late game, okay, obviously, I probably said it in pretty harsh wording. Obviously, what I meant is he doesn't like to play late game. He feels like Protoss is better in late game. He likes to hit timings, and he's almost always going to try to kill you on lair tech. Very rarely does he rush Hive, and that's usually only if he knows you're very weak to that. If you're turtling on Storm and Mass Cannon Battery, he'll rush Lurkers, and then he'll hit a big Lurker timing. So, you know, obviously Dark is still good in late game. He can play late game infinitely better than I can, of course. But compared to a guy like MaxPax, who's played so many late games versus Serral, and really tries to just sit back and get ahead at each stage, MaxPax is always going to be better off the longer the game goes. But if he lets himself get crippled like this, that's where struggle starts to happen. And don't get me wrong, the armor upgrade helped against the Hydras, the Roaches a little bit, but having the Disruptors earlier would have been game-changing. Stalker's Archon's coming in for a counterattack. MaxPax looking kind of desperate here. Oh, attacking into Roach Hydra, not really finding the mark there. Good stasis trap, though. So what does Zealot drop on the bottom? It's kind of funny because you have this feeling of like, oh god, what's Zerg up to? But the thing is, there's no Hive yet. He can afford to take his time. Colossus tech is starting, which is great versus the Lings, great versus the Hydras. Not so good versus the Roaches, but it can help. And the scary thing is the Viper timing, though, right? And actually, melee upgrades are on the way. I guess because Dark's already got 2-1 ranged carapace. He's going to start melee upgrades because you always need those the longer the game goes. And that Hive should be starting up momentarily. I would not be surprised if that starts up any moment now. But it looks like he's dead set on committing one more time before he does decide to go to Hive. So Dark's basically saying, I'll go for a big attack, try to kill him, or try to at least get a lot of damage. We'll make a Hive behind it for the Vipers. And if he's still alive at that point, we'll run in Abductor, the Colossus, the Archons, Blinding Cloud, the army. And that's probably going to be his win condition. Most likely would try to transition to Broodlords if that fails. Hydra Ravager-ling in the bottom side. We've got Roaches and Hydras on the left. Oh, MaxPax recalls his army to defend the bottom right, but that just leaves the top left completely isolated. He just doesn't have the numbers. The way Dark's swarming in from both sides, he doesn't have the numbers to deal with this. And once you get a bit of momentum with a Roach Hydra army, it's so easy to reproduce. This is the bunny rabbit style of Zerg versus Protoss. It's, hey, we are just gonna bang faster than you possibly can. Our lava is spawning at such a ridiculous rate. You might have units that are a bit better value than ours, but we will overwhelm with the numbers. Nice play by Dark. Takes the first map. All right, guys. MaxPax going into game 2. Gonna try to make that comeback. He sent a probe across at the very start of the game once again. Trying to get that block off. Dark wants the 16 hatch. He doesn't send his drone down too late, though. So at least... Oh, he pulls it back too early. Too early. Okay, changes his mind. He's gonna... Oh, he changes his mind. He decides to go down here to the gold base. Now, guys, this map has a gold base with a purple gas. This base is absolutely cracked. However, it's very exposed to harassment, number one. Number two, MaxPax likes this map. I actually think this is his map pick. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he picked this map. So he said, I know he's been doing really well on this map, killing a lot of Zergs on it. And I think he simply feels like you can even take it pretty quickly as the Protoss, as like a third base or something. And you can just harass the crap out of that gold base with like standard adept Oracle pressure. It's very hard for the Zerg to secure that expansion and actually get ahead of it. So I really wonder what Dark's going to do here. I feel like MaxPax is already so in tune with this map. And I do feel Dark is sometimes a little bit slower to adapt to these maps, especially when it's like, I don't know, is he slower? Maybe not slower, maybe just less refined. So I mean, we're gonna see a clash of regions. Either player could fall apart. Gold bases are very tempo based, right? Like it can go really hard one way or the other. And I really do feel MaxPax gets a bit too standard sometimes in this matchup. I do think Serral takes advantage of him for it. And Dark definitely did in that last game by just saying, I don't need a hive. I don't need a second Evo. I don't need to drone a fourth base. I just need to mass roach Hydra and go kill ya. And MaxPax was kind of an autopilot, taking a fourth versus a 3-base Zerg. Entirely unnecessary. Apparently Serral had another stream today. I didn't realize he streamed 2 days in a row. You can let me know the map name and stuff like that, guys. If you ever see any really cool games on his stream, I actually have a form. If you guys type !best games into my chat, it's a Google form, which it sounds complicated. All you need to do is let me know if you can link me up a video or anything like that. If you see a cool game or a cool tournament match, if you let me know like the map, even if it's just the map name. Serral played Clem on Alcyon or something. Sick 20-minute game, check it out. I love that advice. It really helps me find these series because a lot of this StarCraft is played in the middle of the night when I'm asleep. Europeans and the Koreans are playing StarCraft while I'm sleeping. I'm a morning guy, and even though Korean time zone's similar to mine, those guys are a little bit wild. 14 Zerglings. Oh god, this is like a Ling flood, but it's like a bit of a weird one. There's no wall off yet. Oh god, MaxPax is just out there. Oh, he pulled the adept back too early. Okay, he needs to wall off. He needs to wall off. How are the Lings just outside of vision? Okay, MaxPax has got it. He's fine. As long as that Stalker stays there, he's completely fine, because the Adept will shade behind, and then he can wall off with 2 pylons. Great play here by MaxPax. He goes for a pylon and a gateway, and he's going to kill a lot of Zerglings here, so it's like, cool, you're going to get a Stalker kill, force a few buildings, but look at how much you lose, and the Oracle can just go straight across the map. He should not even use the Oracle defensively. Let the pylon finish, you can kill it later. Oh, he lets the gateway finish. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so he wanted to save those buildings, so he keeps the Oracle at home. There are 2 queens there. There is a spore going up there. Gold base is up and mining. Dark using that gold base, man. Now remember, this was not a committed Ling flood. If Dark was rallying Lings behind it, he could have been in more trouble if he, say, lost the Adept or something like that. But because this was not committed, this was all just to buy room for him to macro up behind it. Oracle's going to grab a lava there, cancels the drone. You get a refund, but you do lose the lava. And it's going to go down to that gold base. Man, already a rich gas mining and a full gold base. Dude, if MaxPax wins this game, I'll be very impressed. Like, I really feel like this is exactly why this map sucks for Protoss. Like, look at the income. Shoot up right now. Yeah, his melee is kind of late, but like, what are you going to do to him? If they're good enough at spreading their queens and lings around, surely this is a huge momentum advantage. And Dark should use this to take a quicker 4th base. You can see he's already sending a drone over there. Okay, 2 drones do get intercepted. 4th hatchery should be going down. Goes left, goes right. Still a drone over there as well. Dark definitely could take that. because you end up banking minerals. He needs overlords and drones right now. Oh, Dark's pulled all of his queens to the front. Remember, guys, Dark is not used to using 2 queen control groups a lot of the time. Usually he just uses 1. But he does use 2 different ones this time. At least he's pulling them around. 2 more drones go down. 4th base finally starting. Dark's getting dangerously close to being supply blocked, and he doesn't seem to have realized. MaxPax is keeping him busy. That 74 supply block is nasty, but he does finally start an overlord. So at least he's realized. Meanwhile, over here, we've got a lot of adepts coming in with glaives. How many gateways was this? 4-gate glaive adept. Well, there's nothing but zerglings out. They will not be the best unit for handling this, but if he gets a good enough surround, who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Adepts and oracles are going to try and dive on top, take out some of these zerglings, and that adept barely survives. Not too bad. And how do you defend a base down there and the main? Well, I see what MaxPax's plan is. He says, hey, there's no way you can cover such extreme distances. The Baneling Nest is still 20 seconds away. This is really hard to stop. He's trying to mass zerglings and queens, but the creeper's still not connected these bases. The queens and the lings are going to try to fight this. Nice lings around. The oracles will come in. It's not that many adepts just yet. And yet still the zerglings get annihilated. They just disappear. My lord, they died so fast. I'd cancel that shade if I was him and kill the queens. He shades in, does get surrounded a little bit by the zerglings, but man, they get annihilated. This is insane. MaxPax is up to 60 probes behind this. 2 adepts behind the natural killed 5 drones. He's just going to kill him with glaive adepts. The Baneling Nest not being ready really hurt. Well done. Well done. Vengeance from a whole bunch of those ladies carrying their glaive cannons ready to just obliterate all the dirty bugs. The infestation seems to be cleared off this map, and as good as this looked with that gold base going, it looks like now things are well in MaxPax's favor because he's not even reinforcing. He hasn't reinforced in a while. He's only lost 7 adepts. He's going to lose a total of 11 or 12 adepts, but he's going to do game-ending catastrophic damage to Dark in return. 36 workers versus 63. Those numbers are the wrong way around for Dark right now, and that's what we call a disaster, mate. There's already Mass Stalker at the 3rd with his shield battery fully walled off, 8 gateways and a robo on the way. Massling Bane ain't going to be able to do anything against this unless they move away from the battery and get surrounded before Blink finishes, but I doubt it. Someone summoned Dusted and Browder. Terrible, terrible damage coming in this game. Massling, if they have +1 melee, you get a really good initial surround. They can kill adepts very quickly, but it's a damage output arms race where both units are very fragile but do high damage. And the adepts can kill the zerglings in medium numbers really hard. I like that Dark's just kind of hiding it right now. He's like, come on, we can surprise him. Wait for him to move forward. And then counterattack with 80 zerglings just like that. Like, it's... Okay, he's going to morph 4 banelings, try and sneak in. He's morphing those, rallying them right into that mineral line. There's a cannon and a battery there, but they could still do some decent damage. Robobay and a 4th base on the way. MaxPax is attacking right now. He needs to just recall. Oh, he's actually warping in adepts behind his stalkers. They'll do really well versus the lings. Oh, he's doing some fancy warp prism micro. Oh my lord. MaxPax is like so ahead in workers, and yet he's still trying to fight out here on the front lines, warping in more adepts as he goes. The Oracle turning on its laser beam. Might not be the cleanest battle for MaxPax, but it's good enough because that was everything Dark had thrown into one desperate last-ditch effort. And of course, 2 adepts come in, kill another 5 drones. 31 workers versus 64. It's all ogre, man. It's surprising how well MaxPax is just able to take advantage of that positioning on that gold base. Over and over again, we're seeing him win this map, and it seems like he's continuing that trend. It's going to be funny. I always thought this would be a veto for Protoss and Terran against Zerg, but I think we're already getting to the point where we might start seeing Zergs veto this map, and that is really cool. That's a MaxPax special. When you start forcing people to change their assumptions around which maps are good and which are bad for their race, that's when you know you're playing some good StarCraft. Dark has to tap out. We've got a series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the series is tied up here, and now going on to Alcyon. Dark in the bottom left side of the map. In the top right, we've got MaxPax. Probe comes over, blocks that hatchery. This is MaxPax's favorite thing to do. That's why Cyril's been going for quite a few 14 hatch builds. Dark's 3rd base is very late. What's going on, mate? Dark started that a little late. He was looking... Oh, he wanted to try to get the natural down. But MaxPax kept blocking. Okay, this is really good for MaxPax. This is fantastic for him. Great start for Max so far. Game 3. Gas and Spawning Pool are on the way. We've just got a clip of me shouting, "Give me your fluffing money." Please post that in the Discord clips channel, Zealous. Appreciate it. Alright, Probe Harass is going to do its thing. 20 Nexus into 20 Cybercore. Classic opening here. Pretty safe wall off on Alcyon. Now remember, the main feature of this map is that right side of the map is sectioned off by some minerals. It's very easy to open that side up, and there are a few gold bases down there, whereas the top left side of the map has 2 rich purple gas bases. So that's going to be very nice. Second gas and second pylon on the way right now. I don't really know what the meta is on this map. I just know that there are a lot of weird engagements that happen around this watchtower. This watchtower is very choked up around it. Really hard to fight around this. There's only very narrow openings. Ultras cannot get in there. If you guys are ever playing Bio versus Ultras, you can put as much Marine Marauder as you want around here, and the Ultras can't get at it. It's quite funny to watch. Space cows just get stuck at the entrance. This is like your little... This is the Ultralisk safe zone right here. No Ultras allowed. You can't play with us, Ultralisk. I am hoping I get to cast that at one point. Definitely would have to be quoting Mean Girls for sure. Wearing the wrong pants, you can't sit with us. Ultralisks pretty much are always wearing the wrong pants, though. I'm pretty sure they would have a split in those pants if they were to wear any. Adept's trying to come forwards. Not really getting too big of a reaction just yet, but the second Adept is going to be there very shortly. Once again playing Stargate and actually getting a Stalker to help kill the Overlord. Ooh, the Adepts are shading in. Slightly mistimed by the looks of it, or is it? No, actually quite nice. Gonna take out the Lings. Uh-oh, all the Lings were up in the main. They weren't down here, guys. There's 7 Lings on the map. They weren't in position. Gets a drone, gets 3 or 4 Zerglings, and just run with the Adept on the left. Okay, he turns to fight. I think if that Adept kept running, it might have got out, but decided to take the kill. And the Stalker's going to go after this Overlord. It looks like it'll get out. Doesn't actually confirm that there is a Stargate, but I think you can assume it. Feels like an advantaged opening to MaxPax, especially if he can defend this third base. He thinks the Overlord's going to stay too close to the edge, so he pretends to run away. Dark with quick reaction speed, though. He saves it. He saves it. That Overlord, if it goes straight right now, I think it'll probably escape. Because the Lings can distract the Stalker. Yeah, he needs to go straight right now. That Stalker is so thirsty for this kill. The Lings are like, distraction! Distraction, sir! Look, Mr. Protoss, distraction! And remember, these minerals haven't been mined open. If he sent a probe over, he could have mined it, but oh, it barely gets the shot off. Dark loses it anyway. That Stalker. Well, looks like that that Overlord is not going to be the white whale in this story. The one that got away. Roach Warren 3 gases looks a lot like an all-in. Looks like the Queen Walk all in from game 1, but he's only got 1 Overlord in production. He'd be building a few more Overlords, I think, if he was actually going for that. I also don't think this map's very good to walk across. But he might be faking it. Are you actually committing to this, Dark? There's no way.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
Oh, apologies, guys. We've got sound effects on. My bad. That's my bad. Fix that up. All right, Lings come across the map here. We've got a few Adepts going out to pressure. But this is indeed a big Queen Walk all in, so those Adepts need to cancel it. He needs to do nothing but make units right now. He's still making Oracles. Oh, it's hard to get enough Oracles to ever fight the Queens when there's 5 Queens. That's the power of the 5 Queen Walk, really. And he's going to try and get those shields regenerate. Oh, he takes a little bit of damage there. Oh no, MaxPax, careful, mate. Every hit point is sacred right now. He's building cannons. Oh, cannons can do good versus Zerglings, but they can get biled down by Ravagers over time. So all they really do is buy time. And it looks like he's trying to get up 4 gateways and some other stuff. These buildings are also very packed. And if you bile in between, you can hit 2 buildings at once. Gives a bit of extra value. Don't want to turn all those Oracles on at once. Look at the way Dark's guarding his units with his Queens. Battery Overcharge gets activated very early. I do like that MaxPax does manage to trap a Queen there. Remember, Transfuse will not be part of this push. It's just 4 queens. 4 oracles beats 4 queens pretty badly. But is he gonna, if he does that, the Ravager-ling will be able to fight him on their own. Oh, Oracle already goes down, which means he can't kill the queens now. So now the oracles have to just try and avoid the queens and defend the units that stray away from those queens. The battery overcharge getting taken out was such a big bummer. The cannon on the right adds a lot of good damage output there. But the Ravagers will bile it down very quickly. The oracles are running out of energy right now. Dark is just shoving in with the Roach Queen. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's just shoving with an old school Roach Queen build, and he keeps finding the mark. MaxPax in huge trouble in this series. He's warping in more Stalkers, but those biles are ruining him. It feels like he's committing to an already lost third base. It's game over. Because if he's not committing and he gave up on the base, it's a different story. But if you keep warping Stalkers in range like that, it's a bit of a disaster. I do think he would have done a better job if he actually tried to fight against the queens. Because yes, you're going to lose some of your oracles, but if he was like chronoing a 4th oracle, chronoing a 5th oracle, I think MaxPax could have done it. Let's go back to when that push is like kind of getting right there, about 5:30 or whatever it is. Here we go. Because he's at 3 oracles. He's got a 4th one. There was a bit of downtime on that 4th oracle starting. I think if he chronos that, when he bought time pretty well, kills a queen, 4 versus 4, especially if you do a bit of in and out micro to try and get back to the battery to heal and stuff, it can be pretty slick. The sentries are cute, but they didn't really pay for themselves. I think because they're very expensive and they don't really have much damage or hit points, probably would have been better off getting like a mixture of Adepts and Stalkers, I guess. Dark, so good at just hitting these timings. Super decisive, super solid. And MaxPax is down now 1-2. All right, going into the next game, MaxPax looks like he's not going to bother scouting this time in the top right side. He needs to win this game and the next to keep that hope of going 4-2 versus the Koreans alive. Dark, only 1 game away from equalizing the overall scoreline for the Koreans. If he wins this map, he's up 3-1, knocks MaxPax off the hill, and he's going to be waiting as a predator for Oliveira or probably Clem. I think they would send out first. See how it goes. Hatch gas pool here for Dark. Nexus goes down on the natural. It's interesting that MaxPax doesn't go gas first with his no scout build. He still opts for the normal gateway timing. Just goes gateway, gas, Nexus. And he just says, yeah, I've got a little bit more minerals. I don't need my gas to be any faster than normal. It's fine. I think I want to really ask Harston about this, because Harston was the guy who I think I originally learnt the whole, hey, gas first, if you're not going to scout, it's just better. And that's what I've always applied, and I felt it did speed things up really well. There's a few all-ins you could do with it that were extra powerful, because you could just hit that little bit faster. Double Queens building right now. Stargate starts up. All right, very typical play. MaxPax hasn't really been like rushing Glaive Adepts or anything like that. Now, here on Hecate, and I know there's going to be a lot of people like, that's not how you... I've actually had a lot of comments from people saying, that's not how you... That can't be how you say that. There's a lot of people saying it's Hecate or Hecate. It's a lot of these maps are Greek names, so we're always bastardizing it into an English version. But if you guys run a quick Google search on these maps, yeah, Hecate is pretty normal. It's a few slight adjustments in the pronunciation depending on what you want to say, but yeah. I'm surprised how many people have been saying, I thought it was Hecate or Hecate, which it 100% is not in any regional pronunciation. It's Hecate. I like Hecate. That's a good one. That's a good one from Twitch chat. Here on Hecate, this map's really good for these dirty Protoss. There's these gold minerals down here in Hecate. Well, Hecate. We've got a Void Ray opening here for MaxPax, looking to deny the scouting. Very nice. Depths on the way as well. Alright, so he's going to deny the scouting. Now, the Void Ray opening is normally synonymous with Sky Toss. But because it's synonymous with Sky Toss, Zergs expect Skytoss when they see this, and they scout harder, unless their name is Dark, in which case they choose to do a Queen Zergling all-in. The moment he sees the Void Ray, he makes a lair. Second gas is going to go down any second now. Watch for it, guys. Technically, it could just be to make an Overseer for Scout, but that would be a European response. Oh, I'm going to get a lair just so I can scout with an Overseer and confirm what the follow-up is. There is no way. Dark is 100% just going to nidus. And you can do this off one gas. Usually he goes second gas with it, though, when he does it. And it's just a mass Queenling nidus. But third Queen starting kind of late. He's droning very hard. Which, to be fair, he's kind of known for it. If he actually goes for an Overseer, this will be the most undark move I've ever seen. Nice Spore Crawler trick to save it. Alright, I'm going to Dark's camera, guys. Behind this, MaxPax is just basically making Twilight, making Oracles, very standard stuff, probing up his third. We're on Dark's vision. His lair's finished. Yep, there we go. Nidus Worm goes down. 47 drone Queenling Nidus. This is the Chadray Annihilator build. But he doesn't have that many queens this time. I feel like he's never that clean on executing this build. He's also a little supply blocked almost, so he needs to start massing those Zerglings sooner rather than later. Now, on the other side of things, Twilight Forge, not really what you want here. But the extra 4 gateways are coming up very early. So MaxPax is really letting his production power up. Obviously a bit paranoid after getting Queen all-in in the last game. That was a Queen walk. This one's more of a Ravager Zergling all-in. Look at that one Overlord on the right side coming in. He's going to throw the Nidus in the corner. There's no vision there right now, but MaxPax on point. Perfect timing. Just when the Nidus is about to go down, the Void Ray comes up, and now he just has to throw it out front of the base. Because the Overlord goes down. Where is the Nidus? The Oracles are spotting him. Okay, he's going to go for a sneaky Nidus down there. The thing is, like technically, MaxPax hasn't confirmed what's happening. But you can tell he just senses it. I think he saw enough signs, and he catches it as well. He's going to shut down the Nidus. Oh, this is so bad for Dark. Dark is dead, guys. There is no way. Dark might have to just power up drones. Yeah, he starts droning. Oh, this is so rough. Because now those 6 gateways are going to have a chance to make so many Stalkers. Blink will be finished by the time any serious army gets here. And I mean, what's he going to do here? Battery overcharge goes down. Not a single unit goes down. It's a perfect game. 23 Zerg have died this game for 0 Protoss. Holy crudsicles. This is some Protoss brutality right here. MaxPax playing a clean, solid, defensive game. The Queen Walks have caught him off in this series so far. But I think here against the Chadray Annihilator, he's too ready for it. Infestation Pit's on the way. Dark's going to try and transition into Queen Zergling Swarmhost Nidus. I mean, he knows he's way behind and he needs to do something special, and that is something special. He's going to start a Roach Horn, but he's definitely in the doo-doo, guys. I love that. This is actually so funny because I always talk about how Reyna and Dark don't really scout that much and don't like to scout. And I think Dark just proved it better than ever. Like, the whole story of this early game is he sees a Protoss that wants to deny scouting. And he's like, scouting's going to be really hard. Let's just all in. Like, don't get me wrong. It's often Skytoss builds. That build he did is meant to be really good versus Skytoss openings as well. The thing is, I feel like 50% of the time when someone opens Void Ray, they're trying to hide a Glaive Adept follow-up. And Glaive Adept follow-up shuts down Dark's build. That's why it's especially funny to me, because I'm like, even playing the odds. Like, I've recently cast MaxPax do this Void Ray opening into 6-gate Glaive Adept, and it would have shut this build down as well. Oh, he dodges the fungal! Oh, it was actually for Infestors, not Swarmos. Actually, that's a really smart move for Dark. Very good for stopping Blink Stalkers, but already MaxPax has a 4th on the way. He's going +2 attack, charge. 6 gateways, still the gateway count as he goes into that second Robo. And the Queens, a pack of Zerglings, a few Roaches and Ravagers, and just 1 Infestor out, a 2nd one, and a 3rd one now on the way. Void Ray is going to try and take down the 4th base. Queens are busy up here trying to defend against these Oracles. Ling, Ravager, and the Fungal potential trying to defend against the Stalkers. If you catch the Stalkers from the flank, it's very hard for them to see the projectile coming and blink in time, but from the front, if all of his focus is there, it's very hard to land the Fungal. The first couple of units only just went down in this game. 2 Adepts, 1 Stalker for 63 Zerg units. Oh my lord. Well, that's kind of nasty, man. Charge is now in here as well. Infestors are there. Stalkers are going to blink back. The female Ursadak cheering them on. Yeah, get those dirty Zerg. Don't let them take my primal essence. For those who don't know, part of how Abathur did design the Zerg so well is he will harvest the eggs from random critters on the maps and basically take away their reproductive organs. It's really creepy. So the Protoss here, MaxPax, fighting for the right, the animal right of the Ursidax to procreate and further their kind. How many of you realize not only is he as AI, not only is he Danish royalty, not only is he the best Protoss player in the world, he's also a goddamn animal rights activist like the legend that he is. I wouldn't be surprised if we now see Dark run over and just kill the Ursidac for shits and giggles. I feel like the more, if Dark could hear me commentating like this, he would 100%. He would actually do it just because that's the kind of guy Dark is. Dark would have a cheeky grin on his face and he would love it. For anyone who didn't watch our holdout challenge we did about a year ago with Dark, I think he was the pro player who had the most fun torturing the noobs he was playing against. He had a fat grin on his face, and he was like rallying immortals up water slides on some of the fun maps we were playing and just laughing his ass off the whole time. He was really having a good time. Void Ray's still alive down here in the bottom right side. Roach Ravager trying to come down. Roach Speed's on the way. Carapace +2 range as well. Oh, Fungal! Die, Colossus! Oh my god, he's actually going to get a Colossus. Nice move. Dark is so good with Fungal and Roaches and Ravagers, but honestly, Zealots from the left, Zealots in the main. MaxPax is about to Barracuda 2 of his back doors at once right now while attacking on the front. And that is a nasty move, man. He may be defending on the back quite well as Dark, but he does not have the numbers to hold the front. He gets the door kicked in. The Stalkers and the Colossus trying to pull back. The Disruptors trying to rally together. MaxPax just has too much of a lead off this opening, and he's too active and too good to let it slip away. He's expanding and attacking and multi-pronging all at once. It is so impossible to get there. Oh, Disruptor shot goes down. Takes out a bunch of Roaches and Ravagers. Big Fungal lands, but there's just no army to capitalize. Oh, he comes in with a surround, but a good section of his army already got taken out. An amazing engagement for Dark, honestly. He is working with dregs right now. I feel like we're watching Dark come down from the mountains and push the giant military of a first world power out of his countries, and like they're throwing rocks and using weapons and all sorts of things. Like, it's just, I don't know, I've got like 1980s Afghanistan kind of vibes. Disruptors on the way as well. More Stargates coming in. Carrier transition is going to be unstoppable. 82 drones. I don't know how Dark has 82 drones. Most players will be down to 50 at this point. The problem is this fourth base isn't even properly mining. Lurkers maybe can hold on. I mean, with Transfuse Micro, yes he can. Roach Hydra Zergling trying to defend up that left side of the map. Trying to take out the Zealots there. Dark's going to try and MacGyver this StarCraft game. He takes out a Void Ray on the right side. That was the Void Ray from the start of the game, finally going down. Mama's on the way. The new mothership, -300, -300 is on the way, guys. The Vipers are building at the same time, so he will be ready for the abducts. Unfortunately, even if he does kill Mama, I don't think he's going to have enough to kill anything else. This is a big old problem. Ooh, Lurker's doing their thing. Queen's going to try and transfuse as much as they can. Nice Fungal to stop the blink back, but man, the balls are landing. You know what they say? They say, man, cry havoc and let loose the balls of war. It's a famous quote from Shakespeare, guys. They had disruptors back then. Lurkers coming out, spores as well. I feel like MaxPax can just pick away at him. It's a shooting gallery, you know, it's a turkey shoot. Like, the fact that Dark is surviving is incredibly impressive, but there's no way you come back into this game with Queens, Roaches, a few Lurkers, and a few Vipers and spores. Like, there's no way he can defend this fifth base in the top left. He's gonna kill a carrier! Ah, but he loses both Vipers to the blink forward. He doesn't even have enough damage to kill the one carrier he abducted. What a travesty. Meanwhile, oh, it's a run by! It's a flyby! Mama! Mama! She's going for the mass recall into the main. Dark somehow responds so quickly. Frantically gets up there. The offensive recall. Mama's going to die to corrosive bile. No, she's cloaking fields. And she's getting some damage up there with the carriers. Meanwhile, on the right side, some Zealots had broken through over there. Dark cannot hang on. And a very nice way of forcing the trade there. MaxPax is going to take us to game 5. All right. The game's going to be decided. The series on Oceanborn. Dark in the bottom right. And MaxPax in the top left. MaxPax going for that block that he loves to do. And we expect Dark to move a drone out about 35 seconds. Even earlier. So very well prepared. He knows MaxPax likes to block him. He's going to move forward. Sees the probe. Goes straight to the third. And this is really good preparation. Because Dark's going to get this hatchery down immediately on... No, he builds another drone. I was trying to sneak the probe. If the probe comes up, he'll phase through it and take the hatchery. Or if the probe goes to the left, he ends up delaying his hatchery a bunch. I don't know if this is worth it, man. Super awkward. Taking a 1-minute hatchery? It's a 12-second delayed hatchery. I don't think that's good. Please do send me those book recommendations, by the way. If you guys have any really good book recommendations or anything, we're just having a big chat about Stormlight Archives and a whole bunch of other fantasy series. At the moment, I'm working. I'm about halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way through the Gardens of the Moon, the Malazan book one, which is like the most ridiculously in-depth fantasy series. I don't think I can recommend it to anyone just yet, even though I'm enjoying it, because I'm like, oh, most people would not get past the first book. Like it's great, but it just throws you in the midst of the most complicated, just ridiculously complicated set of like factions and intricacies and all sorts of magic that you don't fully understand just yet, and you're like, what's going on? But I can feel it's going to be building up to some really epic payoffs, so I'll have to update you guys down the track once I get a few books deep in this series. Pretty normal opening, pulling off gas, Ling speed starts, Queens are on the way. Adepts, Warp Gate gets cancelled, Stargate begins. Very straightforward openings. And I think there's a big question. This map feels like it's not too long, and I think Queens can get across here pretty quickly, and this ramp is wide open. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Does Dark just pick up a brick and throw Roach Queen at him? I think he might. I don't think Dark's going to take this late game. I do think Dark might try to do a Ling Bane swarm. If he can hide his Ling Bane rallies from the Oracles, he might do that. Problem is, because it's a smaller map, the Oracles can get home very quickly, and it's also, there's less space to hide your Zerglings on. He's scouting for proxies right now, really checking to make sure he's not getting surprised by any cheeky moves. Very nice. As always, if you guys are watching live, !bracket if you want to know from where the games are. We have that almost always up to date in the channel during best games. Void Ray is coming out. It's going to be the Void Ray again. I kind of feel like Void Ray is even more vulnerable to a Queen Roach push, to be fair. It's less flexible than the Oracle. It's slower. And it does let the Zerg get away with being a little greedier at the start, even though you kill an Overlord. So if he realizes you're going Void Ray, he can just not build spores. So Dark, he just started the spore in his main. Launch from his vision. His Overlord's about to get attacked. He just started the lair, which tells us he wants to either rush Hydras or Nidus here, most likely. Now he's not canceling. Wait, why is he building a spore crawler? Guys, you don't need a spore yet. I mean, technically there could be an Oracle behind it. He's just building it early. Usually pros like to delay the spores until the last possible second. He could start it at about 4:10 and probably still have it finish in time. Because you're going to notice this Oracle's not going to arrive until at least 4:30. So Dark just playing a little extra safe while also getting a third gas. What is he? He's rushing Hydras. Guys, he's doing a Hydra-ling all-in. Dark is going to go for probably 50 drone, maximum 60 drone, Hydra-ling all-in. He's not going to build any more Queens. This 5th Queen that's building will be the last one. Already seeing a lair on the way at 4:30. That's a pretty early lair. This should raise your alarm bells, but he's already gone 4 gas into Forge and Twilight. Now, how do you defend this? Well, shield batteries, good Stalker micro, and stop building Oracles is the main thing. Do not build a 3rd Oracle. If he builds a 3rd Oracle, it's going to be really tough. Hydra Den's on the way right now. And yeah, you're seeing the last couple of drones come in. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4 gas, 50 drone Hydra timing, guys. This is going to be absolutely vicious. This is a great way to rush someone on one of these small maps. I was saying, hey, Roach Queen is what he's worried about. And he is. Look, he's building batteries everywhere. But he's going to be dealing with Hydras. And you need to get more gateways, more stalkers. You need to stop probing and start making army. But he has no idea that this is happening. Gets in. Can he see the Hydra-den? Can he see? He's going to see it. He sees the Hydra-den. He gets a few drones. Good scouting here. Now MaxPax needs to just be making as many units as he can. He needs a battery out front because this battery can't heal a concave of Stalkers out front. He's building more pylons there. The Adept Shades need to get cancelled. There's going to be mass Hydra. Now, Dark over-droned. He went 64 workers. And now he's building an Evo chamber. Is he just going to macro off the Hydras? He might not even hit a timing. It looked like he was set up to hit a timing attack. But apparently, he's just going to chill for a little bit. He's adding more drones. Maybe because he's being scouted, he's changing his mind. Okay, this is fascinating. This is absolutely fascinating. All right, we've got cannons building there. Stasis traps are going down right now. Evo chamber's about to finish up. The thing is, your fourth base is not very well timed as Dark. You don't have roaches. You can't really give him too much time. I'm kind of, I don't know, man. I feel like Dark's letting a bit of a window slip away from him. Hydras do have a fair bit of longevity, though. They're not a bad unit to have at any stage of the game. Until double Robo Colossus shows up. Second Robo Bay is on the way. Uh-oh. Second Robo Bay is the hard counter. If he can get out 4 Colossus with range, Hydra-ling will melt. It'll be a hot knife through butter. And the problem for Dark is he has no information. Remember what I said about Dark doesn't scout that much? Well, he's not sending an Overseer, and he's going Lurkers, though. Okay, Lurker and Infestation Pit goes down. It seems like this was plan B. He's also not droning his 4th. Lurkers do very well versus Colossus. Disruptors do well versus them, but then you can go Hive. And obviously, Hive allows Vipers. Vipers are very good. So then the Protoss needs to build High Templar to defend their Robo units from the feedback. It's a very cautious game from both sides. MaxPax is not doing that normal blink pressure because he's afraid of the Hydra-ling timing. He's trying to take a 4th base right now. His first Colossus is on the way. Dark's going to start breaking these rocks. He's going to see if he can poke forward. But Dark has now droned to 77 drones. He's got the double gas. Hive has not started. And now it seems like he's just going for an opportunistic kind of Hydra-ling timing. But it's not very committed. He's going to... I mean, most players would struggle to commit here because they're like, well, I haven't really committed. But oh, he gets both Oracles! And that's a great angle. That is a great angle. 2 Oracles and a Nexus cancel. Nice start there for Dark. Double Robo Colossus. Viagra is on the way. That'll be done in about 70 seconds. And already the 3rd Colossus is queued up. There's a Prism out already. 8 gateways will be the count in a moment. I think that pylon's just meant to watch for drops on the top potentially coming in there. 5th base is going to go down for Dark. We're going to get to see a macro game, ladies and gentlemen. The denial on the 4th base, very important in this sort of game. You're now getting to see that income advantage for Dark. MaxPax was ahead for a while in the earlier stages, but now Dark is in a significant lead. And if you get out, say, 2 Vipers just in time to abduct these Colossus, MaxPax commits to a timing attack. Things could go awry. MaxPax is also much better at doing the multi-pronged Stalker Zealot style. In this particular game, he's not fully set up for that. He's more of a, it's more of a one-punch Colossus army. You'd see players like Classic pushing the front with this. Let's see how well MaxPax plays this out. The Lurkers on the south, getting up with some Spore Crawlers. Range upgrade is queued up there, as well as the Adaptive Talons afterwards. Gonna go for a Lurker drop down the bottom side. When Hydra gets cleaned up by the Colossus. Zealot drop coming in the right side. It's going to try to get on in there. And Dark a little slow to respond. But the Zealots don't have shoes just yet. At most, they'll get a couple of drones. Big attack in the front. Oh, MaxPax is going for it. But the Lurkers are out. Their range upgrade isn't quite here yet, but there are Lurkers on both sides. MaxPax has to be real careful here. Did he lose his Observer? He's not clearing creep up right now. He left his Observers at home. That's an unfortunate mistake. He could have cleared all the creep during this push and removed Dark's vision. But now Dark sees exactly where he is, and he's inching his Lurkers forward on both sides. Finally, the Observers get here, but this is very, very unfortunate that MaxPax didn't clear the creep. Lurkers getting some good shots off on the Stalkers. Colossus trying to be annoying right now, but he needs to go Storm Disruptor. If he goes Storm Disruptor, he's got to transition. If he doesn't, though, he's screwed. So he needs the gases on this 4th base, does MaxPax. And needs to try and just, yeah. I think this is good. Split the units up, pin him back with a spread of units. And does pick up a few Zerglings, loses only 1 Stalker. Lurkers are still there on the left of the map. That's a massive Lurker count. There's going to be 21 Lurkers in the next 30 seconds. 21 Lurkers is an absolutely disgusting number of Lurkers. And Dark's already defending with half while sending half across the map. You got to be careful. Lurker drop comes in behind the natural. Nice move. He's going to drop one in the main as well. The Lurkers are hanging on. Breaking through Lurkers with Stalker Colossus is a fool's errand. MaxPax is normally not a foolish player, but I think he just feels like he can't pull home now, and yet he has to. The Hydra Lurker is there. Oh, God. These Lurkers are causing him so many problems. The Stalkers and the Probes are getting butchered. Lurker Hydra arrives at the third. MaxPax is in trouble right now. Dark is all over him. Dark realized the Hydra-ling rush was not going to work. He transitioned into Lurkers, and he's making them look excellent. Triple-pronged pressure. Disruptors cleaned up the Lurker behind the natural, but his natural is being breached on the front. The main is finally cleared up by a cannon. The army at the front moving around, but he's losing everything. He's only killed one base of Dark. He needs to do more than that, and Dark has still got 14 Lurkers out. Many of them keeping him safe at home. The rest of the army is going to be in trouble. I mean, MaxPax can pull back. What's he going to do? He's lost a lot of his income. I guess he could rebuild pylons, rally disruptors in and do okay. But even then, Vipers are going to cause him problems. Dark has not built any Vipers just yet this game, but it's only a matter of time. Against this army, Vipers are the hard counter. Let's see if he goes for it. Lurkers came in. Looks like they killed a few more probes on that fourth before running away. Dark knows he's ahead in this match. Still got 4 bases up, losing a 5th base, not a big deal. MaxPax on 3 bases, 43 probes, making disruptors 2 at a time. Those Vipers are starting. Maybe a little slow to get those. They won't have energy for a while, but the Lurkers with 10 range are very hard to break through either way. Spines throwing those shots. Okay, first shot was good, second shot whiffs. Zealots in the top left going to come in and try and hit that 5th base again, but it is not being rebuilt. MaxPax has rebuilt a Nexus, but he has not rebuilt his probe count. He's a little supply blocked right now as he's trying to build more pylons. The Vipers are now out. They've got energy. They're ready to do at least one abduct. I think he's probably going to wait for 150 energy and try to abduct even more. Another ball comes forward. Nice transfuses. Immediately Band-Aids all over those Lurkers. One Lurker finally gets launched to the surface of the ocean. It gets Oceanborn. That's what, if a unit shoots straight up in the air, we're calling that Oceanborn, the name of the map from now on. Okay, up in the main base, we've got a Nidus one popping up inside the main base. Uh-oh. MaxPax, watch out, buddy. He goes to build a fleet beacon to Stargate. He better realize what's happening. He does, but it might be too late. Those Lurkers are going to be out, man. He doesn't have a Dark Shrine. He can't warp Dark Templar in. I think he's going to have to recall this bad boy, and indeed he does. But, oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, my lord. That's a lot of Lurkers, dude. And they're Oceanborn. Colossus and Stalkers getting lifted up to the surface. That one going flying willy-nilly all over the shop. Those Colossus getting just ripped up and thrown into the air. The Disruptors. Oh, trust Dark to be a guy to just come in and just rip your nuts right to the front of the army. That was absolutely brutal. MaxPax getting ripped apart by the Lurker. Multi-prong into the Nidus there. Beautiful play by Dark. He keeps the Korean team alive. He ties the series up 3-3. And Dark's on top of the hill. And we're going to find out in a few days who comes out next. Will it be Clem or Oliveira?